Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Jordan Jones.
Today, we have a high-octane, furious movie from the early 2000s. We're going to give you the 2001 movie, The Fast and the Furious. Or wait, The Fast and Furious. Not to be mistaken with
The Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. But we're doing
2001.
The Fast and Furious. Hottie police officer Brian O'Connor is going undercover to bring down a gang of dangerous highway robbery men that come from the underground world of street racing. When friendships and romance start to tie deeper bonds than that with his boys in the blue, O'Connor must decide where his loyalties really lie. Will he bring down the street racing world that he's been sent to uncover and destroy, or will he be a crappy cop and join in on it? Family, The Fast and Furious.
Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordan Brewster, Rick Yoon, Chad Lindenberg, Johnny Strong, and Ja Rule.
Directed by Rob Cohen.
I didn't know this would launch a sequel. I didn't know that sequel would launch a one-off. And then Ludacris and Tyrese are like, we're all in. And I think The Rock was in one of them.
The Fast and Furious. Cast and crew. We're going to kick this off with Rob Cohen. He's the director for this film. He was famously a producer and screenwriter for this. He was known as one of the 1970s baby moguls. I don't exactly know what that means, but that's just written.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe I'll get to that in Unverified. I doubt it.
Known as a producer, but I got a couple fun directing movies here for you.
Lay them on me.
Dragonheart, remember that one?
No.
It's the one where the dragon and the guy share the heart. If one dies, the other one dies. Remember that?
I think I'm confusing that with Ring of Fire or Lionheart, the Vin Diesel movie.
Sure, cool. He did Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, Stealth. Oh, he was a producer on The Running Man with Schwarzenegger. There's still a lot of Schwarzenegger movies we're going to get to at some point, but
or not.
I mean, they're culty and like good, bad. You know, we might. But that's Rob Cohen. He kicked off this crazy franchise.
There you go.
Starring, of course, Paul Walker.
You're going to want to go back and listen to, I think we've done two movies, Pleasantville, as well as...
For sure, Pleasantville. One of my favorite movies of his and that we've done.
Yeah. Both of them, I'd say this is the first movie of his we've done. He was just in those movies.
I mean, he was a pretty big star in Pleasantville, but... I mean, really what you see him...
Well, and Varsity Blues. We also did that.
Oh, yeah, go back and see our Varsity Blues. But, I mean, of course, pretty much all the Fast and Furious franchise up until, you know, his unfortunate passing. Brick Mansions, that was one of his last films. God, they have a lot of stupid things listed here on IMDb.
He's in that one surfing movie with Jessica Alba.
Oh, true. Let's not forget Eight Below, that dog movie that Mark loves. There's also what's timeline here. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. I think there was that movie where he goes back into the knights in shining armor kind of time. But you all know who Paul Walker is. Taken from us too soon. R.I.P. But you know,
it's been a long day.
God, that song gets me teary.
That isn't about him, but it is 100% about him, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move it along. Let's move on to Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, who's born Mark Sinclair. He has a fraternal...
Oh, I was going to use that on Unverified.
Oh, yeah?
I really wanted to say that.
Did you have to...
No, you can keep it. What a... Mark Sinclair.
Did you know that he has a fraternal twin brother?
I did not know that.
I hope he does not look... I hope he's not jacked and doesn't look anything like Vin Diesel.
Probably looks more like Paul Sinclair.
Yeah.
And less Vin Diesel-y. Anyway, continue.
I mean, he's Vin Diesel. You know him from Triple X. Obviously, the entire Fast and Furious franchise. Of course, he's the voice of Groot throughout Guardians of the Galaxy and just the entire Avengers franchise.
I doubt we'll ever do it, but Saving Private Ryan was when I first saw him.
You know, I could see us doing that at some point.
Maybe not. It could be hit or miss. And then obviously, actually, maybe predating that as the voice of Iron Giant.
That's true.
Real foreshadowing to his Groot type character.
I think we've done that, but I can't remember.
The Iron Giant?
Yeah.
No, we just mention it all the time. Okay. It's just a real big ass tearjerker.
Okay.
We have not done it.
Maybe that's why. Also, you know, Chronicles of Riddick, that other... It's Vin Diesel. You know who he is. We'll move on from there.
Triple X, Knockaround Guys. And this is just me reading straight from Google Pictures.
We have Michelle Rodriguez. She first came onto my scene with Lost. That's where I first noticed her, but
I believe she got, and this take this out if this is all fake, she got like a DUI and got kicked off the show?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they were actually pretty strict about people not messing around on that show. I think a few people got kicked off.
And then did she come back to the franchise later, but she had to take a little break?
Oh, no, I don't think
DUIs?
she got kicked off. Oh, maybe she did get kicked off this. I can't remember. She definitely got kicked off Lost.
Yeah. Anyway, Michelle Rodriguez.
You know who she is. The entire franchise near the end again. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. I did watch it, but don't remember it much, to be honest.
Mark Sinclair. Weird.
Attila, Battle Angel, that movie. She was Gelda. It's Michelle Rodriguez. We'll move on from there to do Jordan Brewster, Mia, the romantic interest in the movie. I mostly know her from this.
I didn't catch it. I thought there might be something, but
yeah, I mean, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the beginning, it looks like maybe.
That feels like that definitely makes sense.
The Rookie Feds looks like a spinoff of a cop TV show. A lot of TV. She's been on a lot of TV, but Jordan Brewster playing Mia. The last one I'm going to focus on maybe is Rick Yoon, who plays Johnny Tran. He is familiar from a few things. Die Another Day, Olympus Has Fallen, Ninja Assassin. Those are kind of his top credits here, but that's the main crew. Anyone else we should maybe touch on before we move on from cast and crew?
I mean, Ja Rule's in it.
Oh yeah. Before we
barely a cameo, really. I remember it being in quite a bit more.
Yeah, so did I. But eventually we get Ludacris and we ditch Ja Rule. So, the only other person, Jesse, there are a few people that seems familiar, but Jesse, he's like a TV actor, I'm pretty sure. Oh, he was in October Sky.
He was in October Sky.
Chad Lindbergh, that's what I know him from. He's also in Star Trek Picard, Supernatural. Few other kind of notable things here. I feel like we should just mention also Vito Rugnis plays Harry, the agent. You would know him from Moneyball, Casualties of War, Broken Arrow, a bunch of cop stuff. The voices on like Grand Theft Auto games, but that's like kind of the last familiar face I'd say from the main crew.
I guess we can skip Unverified though, since we got that Mark Sinclair shit out of the way. If you want.
Yeah, with that, let's move it on to Unverified. Welcome to the Cult Classic Movie Phone. It's June 2001, and currently in theaters you could have seen AI with Haley Joel Osment. It's a movie I didn't like at the time, but I think going back, I might enjoy it a little more. It's been a long time.
I actually don't think I'm into it. It's the Steven Spielberg movie, right? It doesn't feel like it, though.
Yeah, but I also like sci-fi a lot more than you, so, that plus Steven Spielberg, I bet it's better than we all remember. Evolution with David Duchovny and Julianne Moore. It's about as bad as you remember, but it's still nostalgic as shit, so it's fun to watch.
I do not remember, so it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. That song is dumb, because if it makes you happy, it can be that bad.
True.
Ted Bundy ate people do heroin. It's all bad.
Laura Croft, Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. Both are fine. Both Tomb Raider movies with her were fine. Funny enough, I didn't see him at the time, though. I saw him years later.
You're a little younger, though.
A hit for Jordan. Moulin Rouge with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman.
That has shown up everywhere on your sub-tier streaming platforms. It's available if you want to watch it.
Yeah, go check it out.
Not your main ones. My gift is my song. I really can boil that down to just
that
the
scene?
medley.
Yeah,
just
the medley scene.
medley.
Yeah.
Just
fine.
YouTube it. You don't even have to watch all those movies.
Oh, you don't want the can?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, me too, kind of, actually.
Sounds like Cameron's like,
Let's watch Moulin Rouge.
It's weird to create musicals around two people that definitely aren't singers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, they're fine, I guess, but they're definitely not singers.
Yeah, that's true. Another gem for you here, Atlantis, The Lost Empire with Michael J. Fox.
Been seeing a lot of teases on this, and the Cult Classic Podcast has been ahead of the game, part of the wave. It's cresting. I think a lot of people are joking or making fakes that they're making a live action one.
Yeah, but it would be great. But
it's not.
Yeah,
be good.
Jordan has been preaching this for years.
Although I will say, let J.J. Abrams direct it. Give us what we want.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. That'd be too amazing.
Yeah.
A movie I didn't see, but I remember all the previews for. Cats and Dogs with Jeff Goldblum and Elizabeth Perkins.
Oh yeah, I might have seen that in the picture. I don't know.
I can't remember. I mean, I could have, but who can say? Dr. Dolittle 2 with Eddie Murphy. I'm sure I've seen it, but I mean, do I remember it? Not at all. But you chose The Fast and Furious.
And you weren't alone.
No, I mean, it was a huge hit. But really, that was a pretty good month of fun movies.
Yeah, 2001. They used to make summertime blockbusters. This budget of $38 million made $207 million at the box office.
Nice. And then,
so not like an astronomical hit.
Who knows what the franchise is worth now? I mean, like the entire
billions, yeah. I would assume. And now that they can CGI everything, it's got to be way less, right, than Crashing Cars.
Or a lot more. I could see it also.
Or way more.
Or a ton more.
Yeah, let us know. Who knows?
Jordan, you want to give us the Vin Diesel fact again because it's so amazing?
Yeah, Vin Diesel's real name, Jimmy Diesel. No, it's Mark Sinclair. Mark Sinclair.
And he's a twin brother. Fun fact.
Twin brother.
A little more Vin Diesel gossip here. Did you know that him and Michelle Rodriguez were dating off screen during filming, on and off, as they did on screen?
I did not know that.
Neither did I. During the race wars, I remember hearing this at the time too. Real life drivers were brought in and their cars were to participate to make the scene seem a little more huge. They had over 1,500 cars of extras, which is kind of insane. And if I also recall, I don't know if that was a thing as much before, but I think because of the Fast and Furious franchise, that specific like race war thing has become a huge event now annually.
Life imitates art, essentially. Was it a thing? I don't know.
Let me know, if it was a thing beforehand, but I do know since the movie, it became a bigger thing. That I do know to be true.
This one's fun. In alternative versions during the original theatrical release, the early scene of Paul Walker pulling up to the coffee shop was scored with Crazy Town's Butterfly. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. But when the DVD came out, they're like, hey, nix that shit.
We're not paying for that anymore.
We're not doing that. Get that butterfly. So...
interesting.
Bummer Crazy Town. It's Butterfly.
Here's kind of a crazy one. Filmmakers asked homeowners for a background shot to repaint their houses to more muted colors to show off their colorful cars. But it doesn't say that they offered any compensation. It just says that they were really trying to get the homeowners to make their houses look better for their film.
Cool. Way to trick them.
Yeah. This is going to maybe get into some comments later, but... The first race scene that we see is supposed to be a quarter-mile race that should take approximately 10 seconds. However, the race on film takes about 2 minutes of screen time and shows the vehicles driving in excess of 150 miles per hour. So,
from the looks of it, they were going possibly ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean,
borderline ludicrous speed.
We got much more realistic in the later movies of not just having like an early 2000s video game blur of driving real fast, and that's essentially what the windows look like. But still,
to the point where I'm like, this is dangerous, guys. You should stop doing this.
You can't see a thing.
Lots of people were considered for the roles. We'll get into that possibly later.
Oh, I got a whole list of what ifs for you.
There's a lot of car facts that I don't care about, and we're not going to tell you about.
I got one car fact for you. You might like.
Check the car facts.
The Volkswagen Jetta that Jesse drives in the movie was purchased by Frankie Muniz later.
Who I do believe got into street racing.
Or he got into track racing, I believe.
Sorry, track racing, like formula, I think, lower circuit formulas. And I most recently saw him on Instagram as an ad for getting hair implants.
Oh, good for him.
Which I'll say this, it seems like it's gotten to a point, if you got the money, do it.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, it's gotten good now. It's gotten pretty good. This is the last fact I have for you, and another car fact for you. The green 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse GS that Paul Walker is driving at the start of the movie is the same one used in the movie Sex Drive. So it's another movie repeat.
I will watch for that. I can see us doing... No, we can't. It's hard to do.
It's not that good of a movie.
I like Sex Drive, though. It's delightfully surprising.
What's his name? Cyclops. It's just spacing on me right now. Crap.
James Marsden.
James Marsden is surprisingly funny in that movie and in other things.
It's got a tasty little Seth Green cameo, though. Hey, Pete Wentz, nice penis.
Is that a bad movie? Sure is.
Sex Drive, hell yeah. Yeah, saw it in the theater. There's a lot more facts. There's a lot of who would have been cast. There's a lot of more car facts. Camera really picked out the gems, though.
Yeah, let us know if you know any good movie or actor facts about this movie. But we're going to move it on to questions,
comments,
animosities.
Questions, comments, animosity.
Before we get to talking points, I just got to be the first one to yell, Menage! In reference to Ja Rule's character's menage a trois. There's some real jump off the line.
So that's your first comment. That really stuck with you in the movie. Ja Rule's just line reading there.
Cameron, I haven't seen this movie honestly since high school, and I forgot Ja Rule was in this one. I'm like, oh, I guess Ludacris is about to show up. I 100% completely forgot Ja Rule.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, wait, the whole time I was like, where is Ludacris coming in?
But then on top of that, after I saw Ja Rule, I'm like, is he ever coming back? The answer is no. It's just a fucking wondering. Like, they kind of hint his song, whatever. I assume it's
Jordan. These end up launching into space and out of planes. Ja Rule was a low-time street racer. Some people just aren't meant for that.
Well, I'm glad you did bring that up, because Overline, take the rest of the franchise. This is much more grounded in reality than any other of the movies.
1,000,000%. This one's like a
it's
believable
bare
crew.
Bones, this one I can completely believe. We have some questions about the plot and what the crew's doing, I think.
Okay, so QCA, let me rewind this for a second and just bring up
Menage!
Let's go before that.
I smell skanks? Do you like that?
Not quotes. I'm just saying, comment. I remember the middle school excitement surrounding this movie and just like the launch of it. And it just hit me at the perfect time. I don't know. I would have been like, I guess around 11. But kids my age were pretty jazzed to see this car movie, even though it looked bad.
This was wildly popular in my friend group. I was maybe going into high school, like 8th grade or freshman year. You want a hot take? Didn't like it then, more like it now. I'm just not a car guy. I'm not a car chase guy, so it didn't do it for me.
You don't like adventure? You don't like Point Break? Because this is kind of just car Point Break.
See, I'm glad you brought that up. I love Point Break because I'm a surfer guy. I feel the waves. There's no Zodi. I didn't want to get too far into Point Break, but
have you ever been past like I don't know, standing deep in an ocean? Have you treaded water?
Just barely.
Okay, just
but
curious.
like my insides, my soul is a surfer guy. My physical ability and my adventurous is not, though.
Sure.
But whatever that sweatshirt is on the beach that looks like it's made out of hemp, that's me. I'm like that guy.
Yeah, but I did want to bring that up. There are a lot of comparable things to Point Break, obviously, and I might touch on some other ones later, but it's not a bad car Point Break, if you ask me. Even Paul Walker, not to ruin my recasting, but is like
we're both recasting him.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Keanu Reeves.
And I unapologetically, it is just Point Break in the car world.
Yeah.
Where I think Point Break is better is it might have a little bit better actors and a better plot. Because this plot gets weird.
And Jordan, not only are they surfers, they're surfer skydivers.
Cameron,
they're extreme on many levels.
They might be skydiver surfers, actually. They did a lot of skydiving. There's almost as many skydiving scenes. But go back and listen to our Point Break, okay?
It's a good movie.
So
go just watch it. If not,
Yeah, I will say watching The Fast and Furious, really made me want to watch Point Break, though.
Kind of the same. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
A lot. Okay, but let's talk about The Fast and the Furious. Has it been since high school since I've seen it? Quite possibly the first one, for sure.
I've seen it a couple times since then, but...
How well did you remember the plot going into this viewing and what the Toretto gang was doing?
Pretty well, because that's Animosity, they're doing all of this for TV VCRs, essentially. Like the first truck they steal?
DVD players, though, Cameron. DVD players in 2001, I believe, are
okay, so that's like $1 million. That's like $1 billion. Okay, that's cool. But still, the technology they're stealing, I remembered it being worth more.
Yeah, I guess I didn't remember what they were stealing, but I assumed it was not DVD players.
Yeah.
If I would have picked up on that as a middle schooler, I'd be like, oh.
Well, I would be like, they should just go to the warehouse and rob it. That's probably
easily
way easier.
Or hear me out, just wait for that semi to park because it needs to rest. It can't drive straight, and just
rob him then. Yeah, sure.
Or just take the semi.
Yeah, there's a lot of, the later movies, again, their plots get much more elaborate. They do start thinking outside the box, Jordan. So, pat them on the back.
That's obviously my biggest animosity and question I had. Oh, they're just stealing electronics and DVDs.
Yeah, insane.
And this is a fast forward, but then the Tran gang, who seems to be wildly evil, and just shoot automatic weapons anywhere in a pedestrian area, just spray bullets. It seems like all that bad stuff aside, they are just acquiring and selling electronics and DVD players separately, right?
Yeah, nothing that harsh of a crime. They street race, they sell electronics, they murder. That's what they do, Jordan. Those are the three things.
Man, they sure shoot the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, they
but
try.
all the shooting the Tran gang does is related to their street racing beef.
Yeah.
And not anything else, right?
And turf. Vin Diesel's not
Just
allowed on
turf
there.
war?
Yeah, it's a bit of that. But related, I believe, to street racing turf. Yeah.
So the investigation that the FBI is doing is all about DVDs, and then they stumble across...
No, it's all about the DVDs, but they also know that it's probably cool street racers because the cool cars they're doing it in. I think that's how we get to that assumption.
I will admit I get a little lost in the connection.
Well, honestly, it's kind of I did forget, and it is surprising watching the movie how long it takes before Paul Walker gets like brought in by the cops, and we're like introduced to that, like he's a cop all along and not just a bro.
I'm glad you brought that up because there was a portion where I looked to Megan and I'm like, so maybe I'm remembering wrong. I thought this was just Point Break, but I guess maybe he's just not a cop. And then bam, 55 minutes in, it's like, I'm a cop.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, all right, there it is.
For some reason, I guess I just thought we always knew that from the beginning, just because I have seen it a couple times since the beginning, since it came out, but it's been years.
No, it's a little bit later. I'm like, oh yeah. He's a cop. He's in there. He's a cop. I did mark down when you take a movie like this that's full of like young, hot actors. Mm-hmm. Anytime, like the dialogues, whatever it is, you can only do so much in it.
Sure.
But unfortunately, a lot of them end up coming off with dumb voice.
Yeah. Well,
because of the dialogue, because they're younger, whatever. But when they get in a scene with a character actor like the yeah, no,
sorry,
no, that got me. RULE. No, when they get with the character actors like the other detectives, they get the shit acted out of them against them. Like they're so much more seasoned and doing so much more with the crappy dialogue.
Credit to this though, Vin Diesel, I'll say he does good in the scene where he's talking about his dad's car. That's maybe the best he does in the movie, acting wise. But he's not terrible. It's just, he's action dialogue of like...
Yeah, it's none... I don't think it's the actor's fault, right?
No.
But the seasoned character actors do better with it.
They pop out.
Noticeably better. It's like, oh, you guys are making choices. The other ones just say stuff at each other and then race happens.
Comment, my wife worked in logistics with semi-drivers for a while, and I don't think it was ever as intense or dangerous as that phone call at the beginning with that guy being like, you better be armed, these guys are crazy kind of thing. Like, it's not. It was not like that. I don't think it's ever been like that.
Well, obviously, sometimes when there's
highway robbery.
Racing Canes.
I guess that's true. I guess I'm just in a safer area.
Were they legitimately, that crew, also just doing mechanical and body work as well? Like,
I don't know were they a garage also? Is that where he was getting his tuna sandwiches from? That's a garage?
Oh, that was confusing as well. I think she worked at that place and they hung around there.
Yeah, that's his
I don't
in.
know if it was connected to their garage though.
Okay, so that was just his in. He's like, oh, maybe if I fuck his sister, they'll like me. That's his thinking.
And big question, Paul Walker's character, what is it, Brian something?
Brian O'Connor.
He didn't have to infiltrate this gang particularly. He just chose him because he was attracted to her.
Yeah, he just had to get into the street racing world
in some capacity.
Mm-hmm. But he chose like the leader of the street racing world, apparently.
Well, I mean,
in Los Angeles,
he's got his own crew. I don't know if I'm not, no disrespect to
and just quickly on the crew, comment animosity. They are bad people. They endanger a lot of people, and they cause a lot of damage. Like the semi drivers could kill people, reckless, and like. Does Jesse die? Jesse dies. People die.
Jesse dies, and that one's also wildly confusing just because he didn't give up his car.
Yeah.
And then the Tran crew is just going to light anybody up everywhere and anywhere. They're the worst. Just the amount of shooting they do is really, really disrespectful. Like,
Jordan, they get theirs in the end. They die. They have motorcycle crashes. They die.
Does Tran die?
I assume just by the crash and they don't move afterwards, but I guess... I don't know if they come back in the other. Honestly, I don't remember the later movies that well. So if he does come back, let us know. Pretty sure he's dead.
Oh yeah. As a caveat, I really haven't seen a lot of the later ones. So anything is speculation. I do know they end up in space.
As a caveat, I have seen most of them. I just don't remember the plots to them because they get wild. You try keeping them in order. You know,
it seems like midway through they're like, "Hey, we're just stunts now," and then a little bit later they're like, "Now we're family."
Midway through, they're like, "Hey, we have this like script for Triple X Kick Ass, but like like we don't know what to do with it.
Nobody's coming to see Triple X anymore. Can we just
throw some cars in it?"
Yeah, we can do that. I do have actually a shout out to. I gotta find the character's name. I think it's Matt Schulz's character.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially the one who's like, "Hey, this motherfucker's a narc."
Oh yeah, the entire time.
just because that guy's an asshole does not make him wrong. He smelled it a mile away, and
well,
I think they should have taken him serious.
Everybody should have. He was acting like a cop. He's pretty coppy. I mean, the entire time.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. It turns out if you want to infiltrate any gang, any social setting, it helps to be a beautiful man. And people are like, we'll chill with him. He's really up in the gang.
Yeah, really. It's really up in our cred having this guy around. So
that's all Vin Diesel's character cared about. It's like, my God, he's beautiful. He brings nothing to the table.
No, he's a bad racer at the beginning. He's a hothead and he has a heavy foot. That's what they keep saying.
Yeah, real narc-like.
Yeah, he's a bad guy, a bad racer. Oh, question. I've thought about this a lot. What percentage of cars do you think can actually fit under a semi? What, like, you got to imagine like at least one of those times they were trying it and they got like, it's just a different load this time. It's a different freight and they clip it. I mean, like semis are never that high off the ground.
No, they're pretty low. It would be a car like you would see in this. I don't believe it'd be like a station wagon that you see in
Christmas Vacation.
But I do think that shows like this, movies like this, influence dipshits with cars like these to try it.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
We were kind of making fun of the effects before in the window blur, and there is a lot of bad stuff with that. But I do think a lot of the success of this is they do have
the practical effects.
They do have great
real
practical effects.
driving.
Yeah, when you see the cars actually driving. Like obviously the headshots are a little stupid in this one, but they do get better. But it's just good practical effects, so the movie holds up.
Yeah, I think for that reason though, it ages a little bit better than maybe some of the ones that did get replaced by CGI. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like they've always stayed somewhat true to at least like the wide racing shots are real. Just when we're jumping buildings and like planes, we're gonna. In fact, I think they might have even thrown cars out of planes. I can't remember.
I don't want to be rude, but you know what doesn't hold up all that much? The kind of end semi robbery scene. Paul Walker's stunt double does not look like Paul Walker jumping from car to semi. That's all I'm saying. He does have blonde hair. It does not look like him.
Did not catch it. I'll have to catch that though.
I think when they were making it, they didn't assume that, 20 years later, it was going to be high definition, crystal clear. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And that we all had like 70-inch screens in our house. So, kudos to them. That didn't age the best.
I got a common animosity, and that's just Paul Walker's a terrible cop. Johnny Utah, at least, was still like, he was getting to the bottom of things at the end. He just totally let Vin Diesel go at the end.
Yeah, I did have to, for this reason, I did a recap of how the second movie even exists. He is on the run. He's in Miami. It's the same plot, but in Miami, and he's no longer a cop because.
If I recall, though, no, he becomes the cops get him in like, hey, if you want to not be charged and maybe become a cop again, you do this for us.
Yeah,
and then they're like, cool. Now you're super secret, cool FBI, and we'll give you real cool missions. I believe is what happens essentially.
I didn't get that far. But I am like. So what happens with him in his career? They're like, can't do that.
No, yeah, they just overlook it. They're like, shame on us. Shouldn't have given you so many cars and money.
I will say though, since we are going to compare this to Point Break so much,
sure,
a little bit better of an alibi is to not pick a Heisman Trophy quarterback that played like 4 years ago in college. So that's a little better. Hey, that's a step up in the right direction. He's just a really good looking guy that infiltrated the gang.
Oh, animosity. Paul Walker pulls into every parking spot aggressively, like slamming the brakes. It's abrasive.
I think that actually tracks for his character. But the most egregious ones were when he's driving his company's red pickup truck.
Yeah, he always just all of a sudden like jams to a stop and like he's jerking everyone forward who's in the car.
Not the most inconspicuous sleuth around truck.
No, but he's not trying to be. He's just a repairman, He's trying to be.
Yeah, he's driving around like, I'm a cop. Here's an animosity, though. When they go and when the FBI breaks down the Tran house, during what only assumes to be like Thanksgiving or family gathering. I don't really know what was going on there. Mm-hmm. There's no way they would have their undercover cop be there in any way.
No. Same thing with Point Break when he's like, I need to be there. Like, no, we're probably going to just keep your identity safe and have you nowhere near this. That seems probably better, right? Yeah.
That's dumb. It's like, but I'll put on a helmet. It's like, you guys got dumb voice.
I don't think this is the first time that we see him get in SWAT gear in this franchise, too, to take down someone who's after them. So, I guess it's just protocol. It's just proto to let him, if you have a vengeance to do, Jordan, let him do it.
Did he, though?
I don't know. Not yet. He will.
I don't think he did, right?
Nah, never really in this movie. He will.
I actually don't think he had anything against him. I guess that
Jordan,
one
you know why?
Eventually
because we aren't family. Yeah, we're just Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. We're just friends.
I think they're friends working on family, but that's like 6 movies deep. I did anticipate there'd be a lot more family, but there's really not.
We got to get past Tokyo Drift to feel any kind of bonds, really,
Yeah, it's the kernels of friendship. I think.
Is Luda coming to the second one? Is that when we get him in Miami? I think so.
I know Tyrese is in that.
Yeah, because he's like,
and that's when he jumps in. I don't know if Luda got in there, to be honest, because
I think he's like, he lives like on a boat. I think he's their mechanic in Miami. I think that's when he's in.
I don't even know if I've seen the second one.
It's not. It's just as good as the first one, if not a little better. Better effects. They had bigger budget.
Yeah, it seems like just a clear cut. Hey, we got a hit. Let's make a sequel.
Yeah,
don't overthink it. It seems like that.
It seems like they did Tokyo Drift and like, hey, we really overthought this. People were not a fan. Let's just get back to PW and Vin Diesel. That's your clear cut Halloween 3. Don't overthink it, dummies. Just keep it fasty. Keep it family oriented. The sister's character, Mia. Yes.
Mia really doesn't take much to have sex with Paul Walker. It does help, I think, that
Jordan, he's gorgeous. I mean, he's just gorgeous, beautiful. Yeah. What more do you want? And he's kind of into the same stuff as the rest of the family. So, it works.
Kind of hanging out and drinking Coronas.
Well, I'll just say one thing, just big old animosity. If you're trying to go undercover, don't fuck anyone's sister, mother, aunt. Just don't get romantically involved. Ex-partner, if we're talking Point Break, just don't have sex with anyone undercover. Seems like a big problem.
He didn't hit any resistance.
No. Well, he did with the one guy who's like, "You're a cop." That guy.
No, I'm saying to have sex with the guy's sister. She's like, "Yeah, this sounds great. You guys want to go to a Cuban place?"
Well, Vin Diesel will kill him if he breaks her heart.
There was a moment when they set up their date. She's like, "Meet me at this Cuban spot at 10 p.m." And I gasped. I'm like, that's too late. 10 p.m.
Oh, no. I have to be up at the garage to help your brother in the morning. I don't think that's going to work for me.
Yeah. 10 p.m. is a late start. And then they got to knock boots and get woken up by his cop cell phone.
That's not what you want. Oh, also, just kind of what you're saying, though, with that guy that's all over, he's a cop. If things are starting to heat up with your gang and there's a new guy that just joined the crew, he's the cop. And especially if he starts fucking your sister, then he's definitely a cop. I don't know why they do it, but they do.
Every one of these cop infiltrates the game. They never see it coming.
Yeah, they really
They never see the absolute new guy. All of a sudden, we're... good God.
The buster brought me home, if you recall. That's all you got to
do. That is a good talking point, though. After really the only race we see, right? Pretty much?
Yes, I bet.
I mean, for the most part, the first main race...
Wars, we get some, and then...
Race Wars was... I guess that's how...
Is that what it's called? Because I'm realizing now it's a terrible name.
I thought that the whole time, but everybody's like, just let it happen. So I'm like, okay. Is it supposed to be a play on something or not? I don't know. I have an animosity on how Vin Diesel's character reacts after he gets brought back to the crib. Mm-hmm. He didn't wait for anybody either. No, everybody's scattered. Yeah. What a real selfish move. What a real dick move.
Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of protocol.
This is the only guy that waited for me. It's like, that's a red flag, you dipshit.
The police just avoided us completely as we escaped.
What an asshole. I truly, what's the character's name that kept calling out? It seemed like a douchebag, but
Vince.
Spot on. Vince really got it. I think he's the best character in the movie.
And he probably dies because we never see him again in the franchise.
Well, his arm's never going to be the same.
And he was part of the original family, so you'd at least you think they'd have mention him again. And we never really, I don't know if we bring up Jesse again, I mean, he's dead, but I'm like, not even
they forgot about that immediately. His death seemed neither significant, important, and unnecessary.
It seemed like it was supposed to happen like 20 to 30 minutes earlier in the movie for us to have more resentment before the race wars thing or something, but I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I completely forgot where that character was and what happened to him. I'm not giving the car back, and then he's like, I'm back! Oh, no! Is that the only... No, they killed a bunch of other people. It's just unfortunately like stray bullets hitting like kids and the elderly in all these neighborhoods.
You'd assume that's not their first. Or it was, and they're like, oh my God, we hit him. We just usually like shoot cars and like buildings.
I think my animosity, they definitely shot a lot of cars and buildings, which is a bummer.
And as you see, everyone's getting down. He's the only one that doesn't. So I imagine they're driving away, just being like, why did he get down? Oh my God.
God, they were shooting for the last half mile up the block. You got to hear him coming. So did Jesse get what he deserves? Yeah, he did. What a dumb dipshit. He smokes cigarettes and can play on computers from 2001. I guess a slight animosity, like an actual animosity in comparison to my beloved movie Point Break, which is very much, this is a photocopy of this. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they built the relationship between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker's character enough.
It was too quick, kind of the bonding. Yeah, they should have had a little bit more.
They rushed it. A lot was riding on that story, I guess, about
the dad.
The Charger car. Yeah,
there could have been a version of this movie. He's like, cool, I don't give a shit. I'm bringing this guy in.
Yeah, let's bring this guy in. You guys all seem bad. Let's get those trans people. I think they're legally buying DVDs, but they're definitely shooting a bunch of people.
That's true. I got another comment, just animosity. Seems like we could have, it's been a lot safer, saved a lot more money, saved time if we just wiretapped their garage. It doesn't seem like they were being too secretive or quiet about things. Like they weren't talking to other people about it, but just like we had microphones back then. Just slip some microphones in there. He's in there all the damn time eating those tuna fish sandwiches.
The big confusing thing is this worthy of an FBI investigation?
It's quite dangerous on roadways, but they're not major roadways. They seem like weird desert highways.
They seem to be only driving on stunt access road movie lot highways where there's only 2 cars, Cameron.
Yeah, so that's not too bad, but they are shooting harpoons and crazy things at semi-drivers, so, I mean, that's dangerous.
Okay, so maybe it is FBI.
It depends on how many semis they hit, how many millions of dollars of TV VCRs they've stolen already.
Okay, so maybe I missed that. Did they ever put a monetary value on...
I'm sure they did, but I don't remember.
So I totally missed that if they did, because it didn't seem like... It seemed like the street racing was almost as bad, if not worse, than the highway robbery that happened twice.
More dangerous, putting more civilians at risk. Yeah, I'd say that much, yeah.
Oh, I do have a big animosity about when the cops show up to the first street race.
Mm-hmm.
I am so mad that everybody scatters. If I was in that crew, I would just stay parked and nobody would chase after me. That really pissed me off. All these cars are lined up. The cops come and the cars like scatter like they're running like humans do from the cops.
Yeah, gotcha. So you're saying just like stay parked and watch it all
just stay parked. You didn't do anything. You're just parked.
That's true. Yeah,
that actually really pissed me off.
Yeah, but police brutality, they would have been like, hey, you in the Mitsubishi. Whack.
That's true. I would have been there in my Ford Contour. And,
we would have been fine, but
I don't know that I overall like the movie.
I do. I mean, it's nostalgic, though. It was a huge hit when I was 11, so I mean.
I thought I was going to feel more nostalgic for it, but unfortunately, it just reminded me, I was like, I didn't even like this movie when I was growing up. I'm not nostalgic for it, but I am. I am nostalgic for Point Break.
Yeah, I mean, go back and see Point Break if it made you feel that way as well.
Oh, big animosity on Michelle Rodriguez. Her car rolls and she just gets out. She's like, ow, my back. Like, she'd be, if not dead, very badly injured.
Jordan, this is not the first time I'm pretty sure these people will roll cars at like 200 miles per hour and be like, oh, my shin. I banged my shin.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. That hurt like a son of a gun. Here's one thing that just was on my radar. I didn't know how to talk about it. Mm-hmm. During the family bonding barbecue thing, there was a time period where you just got a bunch of wings with barbecue sauce on them. That's how people did it back there. Give me 400 wings, put a bunch of barbecue sauce. That's grilling. That's barbecuing. Mm. That's all. Take that with what you will.
Burgers and wieners for this guy.
I hear that. Wish I didn't.
This movie launched a huge franchise. It is beloved. I'm sure we've missed some huge talking points that people would have liked. So make sure you write in and let us know some of your favorite things about this movie. But we're going to move it on to recasting. Welcome back to Recasting. We're going to start pretty low here with the gang. We're going to pretty much just keep it to gang and a few others, but let's do Leon or Leon.
In a weird way, I have somebody a little bit lower, although way more bigger of an impact.
Sure.
I am doing in place of Ja Rule, Nelly.
Oh yeah, sure. Why not? Give me Nelly. I don't hate that.
Sure. You can take LL Cool J.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll just take LL Cool J and get another acting rapper in there who's a little bit younger. Well, it's not too much younger, but looks great. We're gonna do Leon. You might know him as that one guy from The Crew. That's it.
You also might not know him, which was the case with me. Cameron's like, let's do Leon, and I'm like, who?
Yeah, well, I figured we should do the whole crew, but I did Steve Howie from Shameless, the tall guy with the long hair.
Oh, not bad.
Right.
Way better than mine. I get where you're coming from. Ooh, he could have actually worked in another place. I did Cole Hauser, who's now in Yellowstone. I believe he had a career resurrection, but we'll know him from, and you should go back and listen to our Good Will Hunting. He's the redheaded friend.
Okay.
The quiet but silent type. Just, he's there. I like yours better, though,
Except for that guy brings a little too much to what this character is.
Yeah, it would change the character for sure.
Let's do Johnny Tran. Who do you have there?
I'm doing Robin Shao. He played Liu Chang from Mortal Kombat, the 1995 film.
Okay, I was going to ask, remake or old, but yeah, that works for me.
I've never seen the remake, but that's what I'm doing.
I'm going to do Remy Hee. You would know him from Crazy Rich Asians, 2019 Spider-Man Far From Home.
I do like that guy quite a bit.
Let's move it on to Jesse. I feel great about this one. Giovanni Ribisi.
Okay, so I definitely thought of him, but I didn't write him down.
Let me throw this in here for you, too. Give him a little dancing, too. Let's see him swerve.
Wow, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now you're talking my language. Giovanni Ribisi from the 90s, though, we assume, right? The younger version of him, obviously. I did Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with
Jesse Pinkard. I like Giovanni Ribisi better.
It makes a little more sense, though, because the character's maybe a little too soft for this world. Then Jesse is definitely, from Breaking Bad, is a little harsher.
Yeah, I was trying to think of softer people, but just nothing was coming to mind.
Yeah, I get it. Let's move on to Vince, the guy that knows he's a cop the entire time and gets shot and disappears from the franchise. I did John Bernthal. I do him all the time, I know. You would know him from, well, I just actually found out The Pacific. I'm rewatching that. But Fury, the tank movie, Walking Dead.
Oh, I get you. Dang, that's better than mine, too. Dang, I like that. I like that quite a bit.
Yep.
Also from Fury, if you rewatch that
movie.
I did a weird one. This is actually somebody you cast quite often. I did Michael Shannon.
Oh, yeah, I like that, too. I don't know if I see him in this world necessarily, but I mean, this is maybe when he was like Goose, like the pilot in like Pearl Harbor, that kind of funny, goofy guy. Yeah. So like that could work. That could maybe work there.
I don't know why. I was kind of blanking with that one. I actually really like yours. I think that one works.
Michelle Rodriguez Letty. It looks like I didn't fill that one in. What do you got?
I got Zoe Saldana.
Okay. I could maybe see that. Let's go Eva Mendes.
Okay, so I thought about that one, but she's in the sequel, in the whatever that role is.
Freaking is.
Yeah,
damn it!
And I only know that because I watched the recap. I watched a 4-minute recap of the sequel. Damn. No, just the sequel, because I'm like, what happens after this? In case it comes up for conversation. So yeah, Eva Mendes makes sense.
No wonder that felt perfect. Okay, shit.
Yeah, they were thinking the same thing, and that's why none of us did Ludacris. They're like, we already did it, guys. We already got it.
Let's move it on to Mia, the sister. I like mine. I try to do her all the time, but Emmanuel Shiriki or Shiriki.
Jeez, you're on your own.
I don't know, but you would know her from Sloane from Entourage.
Oh, that totally makes sense. I went a completely different route. I just feel like it's Megan Fox. This feels like a Megan Fox movie. I didn't know where to put her.
That makes sense to me too. There. Yeah, that's fine with me.
It's just Megan Fox from
Yours is better than mine.
Transformers.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's move it on to Toretto. I only had one person in mind for this. A younger Bruce Willis.
Weird. I get it. Intimidating.
Yeah.
You got to earn his trust.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I had two that are changing the course of the movie, but I'm accepting it.
Okay.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. I mean, he'd kill anything he's in, sure.
And then...
And I definitely don't want to piss off him no matter, like, when he's on his bigger size of, like, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, it would. I'm picking Warrior Tom Hardy.
Okay, a little less scary.
Maybe slim down a little bit because
Okay.
God, he's pretty big.
Real
Everywhere.
big.
But you know who I really wanted it to be, and I know he shows up somewhere in the franchise later, is Jason Statham.
Yeah, that makes sense
I think
too.
he'd be good. And that's really
He
it.
does come in as well, but yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, this moves us on to O'Connor. I'm going to say we both said Keanu Reeves, and I think that makes the most sense just because there's a lot of similarities between him and Paul Walker. But I'm going to put that one aside and say I also thought Freddie Prinze Jr., kind of a contemporary of the time, but maybe like not as goofy.
You're picking dumb voice.
Yeah.
And I get that where you're coming from. But like,
But they're also, again, contemporaries. The same kind of actor, same guild. Seems like a switcheroo of sorts.
okay, if we're going to go along the not Keanu Reeves, who we think is perfect, and we also think Paul Walker would be perfect in Point Break, right? That's our agreement. I don't know who I recast, but it very well could have been Paul Walker, right?
Yeah.
Theo James, the Divergent guy, Theo James, most recently in a remake of, or the TV series of The Gentleman or whatever that.
Sure. For some reason, he does have like dumb in the eye a little bit.
I think it's that he's attractive. They all have the attractive thing and maybe haven't been in good projects yet.
Okay.
But he was in White Lotus and he was in this new Gentleman. I think he's gotten the better examples. But much like Divergent, you sound dumb when you say dumb lines.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I do have one last thing to throw at you before we get to our what ifs. Would you like this in a 90s version where Vin Diesel is John Travolta and Cage is Connors?
I mean, yeah, because why wouldn't we?
It'd be a completely different recasting for every single character based off that, but I don't know. I just thought of a fun face-off version of this.
There's more dramatic versions where you could get better actors, but you kind of want to have people stay in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I could see Halle Berry in this. I could see J-Lo because they kind of make bad movies too, like a lot of weird bad movies. It's just, now they're older and stuff. There's like a lot of people you could see in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. With that, let's move it on to the what ifs. This one is,
and there's plentiful.
There are a ton of people they wanted in this. This one was for Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker's character. They reached out to Mark Wahlberg. That could work. Christian Bale, he could have done it.
Sure.
And Eminem.
Now that one jumped off the screen as weird.
I mean, then 8 Mile though, he got into acting, so it's not too crazy and far-fetched.
It is. He made 8 Mile. He didn't get into acting, and you're telling me that he's going to be Brian O'Connor?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
if anything, he's the Jesse character. Maybe. Oh, he'd be a real good. Hey, this guy's a cop character.
Now this is for Mia, the sister. They reached out. It was written for Eliza Dushku. She turned it down. Then they reached out to Natalie Portman, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Kirsten Dunst, and Jessica Biel.
I'm surprised there weren't more Vin Diesel ones.
I would have thought there would have been a million for that, but apparently it was always his role, Jordan.
It's the role he was... I wouldn't say made to play because Mark Sinclair isn't getting this role.
No, but when your stage name is Vin Diesel, you get there.
Vin Diesel gets this role.
Let us know what you thought of our recasting this week, and let us know who else you thought could have been in this movie and made it kind of fun. But we're going to move it on to Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Mount Rushmore Top
4. Mount Rushmore Top 4. This week we are doing undercover movies, in particular, people who are infiltrating gangs. Jordan's going to start it off this week. Who's your number one?
Point Break's my number one,
okay.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
I have a better number 2, but my number 1. I'm going Point Break because this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm. I'm between 2 right now. I think I'm going to go 21 Jump Street. The remake was actually really funny. It was a surprise.
That. I wasn't thinking that.
It really got Channing Tatum into some more fun roles. It was a good movie.
No, 21 Jump Street. I mean, both are good for a sequel. 22 just good. I do like 21 Jump Street better.
I mean,
didn't think about that. That's good. Don't disagree with that. That one was a surprise. I'm gonna go with The Departed.
Yeah, that was up there. I had a question for you next of am I gonna do a good movie, a nostalgic one, or a Nick Cage movie? But The Departed's a great movie, and it deserves being on the list. So
it's got double undercovers.
True.
It's got a rat and a mole.
Great cast, long movie. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That gets out of the way for me. So is it Nick Cage or is it, you know what, screw it. I'm doing an interesting one, Kindergarten Cop. Go back and see our version of that.
That's not a bad one. That did make me, do you consider, what was your Nick Cage one? Was it going to be Con Air?
Face Off.
Oh, duh, yeah, Face Off. Con Air kind of works too, right?
Yeah,
Sort
he's
of
like,
on
I mean, he's one of the prisoners and he's working with the cops, but they don't really work with him too much until the very end.
Can I tell you the one that isn't an undercover cop but infiltrates the gang in a sense? And this is my loose one. That's Dances with Wolves, baby.
Okay.
He's not there to help. He kind of bounces when it gets bad, but he becomes family.
Okay, all right. I don't hate it. Your love for Dances with Wolves, you made it in again, you know.
I could argue probably a little bit of Last Samurai as well.
Thought you might.
With those two, not exactly this, but that's why I had to go with The Departed first and foremost.
Okay, sure.
And obviously Point Break is Point Break.
Also on a lot of lists, I did see like American Gangster. Let's see, Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen Reservoir Dogs.
I think there is a cop in there.
Okay, it's been a while since I've seen it.
I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs for a hot minute. There's a lot of good from this, but 21 Jump Street, that one wasn't on my radar.
Thank you.
I quite liked
Thank
it.
you. Let us know some of your favorite undercover infiltrating movies out there, some we might have missed. But thanks for listening to our take on The Fast and Furious. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate and review. If you like what you heard, make sure you check out the entire Majestic Jam Network, Urban Hermit Podcast, I'm Not Crazy. And until then, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.